Aliens cried out for help. Human Deathworlders brought total destruction. Part 1. The call for help. The galaxy had grown dark in recent years. Systems that were once peaceful now sent out messages of fear and desperation. The tyrannical empire of the Zorvans moved from planet to planet, enslaving species and destroying anything that resisted. Even the strongest fleets had failed to stop them. Small alien civilizations lived in constant worry, praying that someone, anyone, would come to help. On the outer edge of the galaxy, the small alliance of Yellari and Drenari species gathered in a trembling council. Their leaders argued in loud voices, their sharp alien tones echoing in the crystal hall. "Our fleets cannot hold them," cried the Yellari ambassador. "They will take our worlds in months, maybe weeks." A Drenari elder, his skin dark with streaks of silver, shook his head. "We have tried everything. We have weapons, shields, tricks of war. Nothing stops the Zorvans. Our only hope, humans." "Humans?" Another Yellari leader asked, disbelief in his voice. "Are you saying we call upon the Deathworlders?" "Yes," the elder said. "They are feared even among the stars. Other empires speak of them as monsters. If we can reach them, if they agree to fight, we may have a chance." The council murmured nervously. Humans were not like any other species. They lived on worlds that were harsh, dangerous, almost unlivable. Every human was trained to survive, to adapt, to kill if needed. Their planets were called Deathworlds for a reason. Many alien leaders had seen reports of humans surviving storms that could crush fleets, of soldiers who walked into fire and came out alive. It was terrifying. Far across the galaxy on Earth, the human fleet headquarters received the alien message. Commander Jack Hill stared at the screen, reading the desperate plea. His officer, Lisa Brown, stood behind him, hands folded neatly. "They want our help," Lisa said quietly. "They are asking for human intervention against a fleet of Zorvans. These are not small numbers. They claim hundreds of ships, maybe more." Jack rubbed his face. "They think humans are just muscle they can hire. They don't understand what Deathworlders do or how humans fight. They have no idea what they are inviting." "So we help them?" Lisa asked. She already knew the answer. Humans did not sit by while innocent lives were destroyed. Survival, strength, and strategy were in their nature. "Of course we help," Jack said, "but we fight on our terms. They will not tell us what to do. They will watch, they will beg, and they will learn why humans are feared." Within hours, human ships launched from Earth. Captain Ethan Cole took command of the first wave, a mix of fast attack ships and larger assault carriers. Strategist Amy Scott monitored every system, analyzing the galaxy for weak points in the Zorvan fleet. Even before arriving at the alien worlds, humans began making their plans, moving quietly but with lethal purpose. On the alien side, their first sight of human ships caused a mix of awe and fear. Small observation crafts had reported their approach. Humans did not broadcast challenges or threats. They did not announce themselves with weapons tests or war cries. They simply arrived, their ships sleek, silent, and prepared. Ambassador Kellen of the Yellari whispered to a Drenari general, "They are calm. There is no fear, no arrogance. They just exist. This is not how mortals behave." "They are not mortals," the Drenari said. "They are Deathworlders. We may have called them for help, but the truth is, we do not know the cost of their presence." The Zorvans, on the other hand, did notice. Their sensors picked up human fleets and reported them to the Admiral. "Strange ships, small in number, approaching our forward patrols. Unusual design and aggressive maneuver patterns." The Admiral laughed, thinking this was a minor annoyance. "They are humans. Weak, untrained, unprepared. Destroy them first." The first skirmishes began near the asteroid belt that separated the Zorvan advance from the alien home systems. Humans did not rush forward. Instead, small attack groups made careful tests. Fighter pilots like Ryan Cole and Diana Hayes flew scouting runs, striking lightly and retreating to measure enemy responses. Bombs hit, undefended supply ships. Electronic systems of Zorvan fighters were scrambled, but no large human fleet engagement had occurred yet. Alien allies watched in disbelief. "They are not fighting," one Yalari warlord shouted. "Why do they not strike with full force? They could destroy these ships now." Captain Ethan Cole's voice came calmly over the command channel. "We are observing. We learn first. When we move fully, the galaxy will remember why humans survive where others fall. Patience is part of our strategy." Back on the alien planets, civilians began sending messages to the Council. "The humans are here," they said. "But why are they waiting? Are they afraid?" Ambassador Kellen tried to explain. "They are not afraid, they are waiting. Deathworlders always wait. They measure, they analyze, and then they act with precision. We may not understand, but their actions will be decisive." Days passed. The Zorvans grew restless. They sent wave after wave of fighters and bombers to probe human positions. Each time the humans adapted. Shields were repositioned. Traps were set. Electronic countermeasures jammed enemy targeting. Small skirmishes resulted in heavy losses for the Zorvans, but humans never committed fully. Inside the human fleet, Jack Hill walked through the command deck, observing the young officers. "Every move they make, we learn," he said. "Their patterns, their arrogance, their weaknesses. When we strike to end the fight quickly and decisively. We do not linger." Lisa Brown nodded. "The aliens think we are reckless or slow. Neither is true. We are always 3 steps ahead." The aliens began to feel a mix of relief and worry. Some whispered among themselves. "They are strong. Their patience is frightening. We called for help, but the full cost is unknown. Will the humans destroy our enemies without mercy? Will we survive their victories?" Despite their fears, the alien leaders could not refuse human help. Every passing hour without intervention meant more worlds lost to the Zorvans. Desperation outweighed fear. On one of the Yalari command stations, young pilot Lyra watched the humans through a viewing port. She had been trained in war tactics her entire life, yet she felt small. The humans moved calmly, calculatedly, and always seemed aware of dangers no one else could see. "How can they be like this?" she whispered. "They are not like anyone I have ever known." Back at the human command ship, Ethan Cole reviewed the reports. "Their arrogance is their weakness," he said. "We have the advantage if we wait. When the order comes, we move fast and their fleets will crumble." Jack Hill entered and looked at the tactical displays. "Remember, we answer the call for help, but we decide the terms. We protect the innocent, but we do not negotiate with failure or weakness. Humans are Deathworlders. We survive, and we destroy what threatens life without hesitation." The Council of Aliens held its final vote. "We request full human engagement," the elder said. "Whatever the cost, we entrust our survival to these Deathworlders." At that moment, a small human scout group returned from its first close engagement. Enemy ships had been probed, and weak points identified. Captain Ethan Cole smiled. "They will regret thinking humans are just muscle. The game begins soon." The first part of the story closes as humans continue their patient observation. The aliens are hopeful but unsure. The Zorvans remain confident, thinking humans are inexperienced. The galaxy waits, unaware of the total destruction coming from a species that survived worlds no other could. Part 2. First contact with the enemy, the Zorvans were growing restless. They had noticed human ships in the outer sectors of the Alliance space. Reports came in that small human fighters were probing their patrols, but they were not attacking in force. The admiral of the Zorvans laughed at the reports. "They are nothing. Weak, inexperienced, and foolish. Destroy them before they interfere." But the humans were not foolish. Captain Ethan Cole had no intention of rushing into battle without preparation. He gathered his fleet in a shadowed nebula, out of sight of Zorvan sensors. His ships were fast and maneuverable, but he also had heavy carriers and support vessels ready. Every crew member knew their role, and every role had been drilled to precision. "Remember," Ethan said to his bridge officers, "we are not here to die for the aliens. We are here to protect them, yes, but we fight on our terms, patience first, then total action." Strategist Amy Scott studied the enemy patterns. "Their patrols are predictable," she said. "They respond aggressively to small threats, but they lack coordination when facing unknown tactics. We can use that." The first human scouting groups moved carefully. Small fighter teams, led by Ryan Cole and Diana Hayes, slipped past the first lines of Zorvan defense. They struck lightly at supply convoys, disabling engines and communications. Every attack was precise, leaving the enemy confused and off balance. No large fleets were engaged yet, and the humans did not commit fully. Alien observers watched in amazement. Ambassador Kellen could hardly believe what he saw. "They are not attacking seriously," he whispered to a Drenari officer. "They test, but they do not commit." "How can that be?" The Drenari shook his head. "Humans are strange. They do not fight like us, but there is method in their patience. When they strike, it will be complete." The Zorvans, frustrated, sent a large patrol fleet to intercept the human scouts. The human fighters did not retreat. Instead, they used clever maneuvers, attacking from angles the Zorvans did not anticipate. Electronic jammers scrambled enemy targeting, and when the enemy tried to retreat, human ships cut off their path. In a matter of hours, half the patrol fleet was disabled. Reports reached the Alien Council. "The humans, they are not fighting as we expected," one Yalari general said. "They do not strike in full. They move in small teams, yet they destroy more than our fleets could." "What are they?" "Deathworlders," the Drenari elder said quietly. "This is how they survive. They study, they learn, they adapt. Patience is their weapon." On the human command ship, Ethan Cole received the battle reports. He smiled calmly. "They are arrogant. They think our small strikes are all we have. When the time comes, we will show them the full force of Deathworlders." Jack Hill, observing from the command center, nodded. "They will learn. They do not understand humans. The galaxy has not seen what happens when humans fight without limits." Over the next several days, the humans continued their reconnaissance and small attacks. Each time, the Zorvans responded with force, only to fall into carefully laid traps. Human ships would appear in unexpected locations, strike and vanish. Enemy pilots were confused and demoralized. The aliens watching began to fear the humans. "They are patient," said Lyra, a young Yalari pilot. "But I have never seen beings so calm in danger. It is frightening." The humans also studied the enemy. Amy Scott mapped the Zorvan fleet movements, identifying weaknesses in formation and command chains. "They are strong," she said, "but predictable. They respond aggressively to small threats but fail to coordinate under pressure. We can use that when we strike fully." The Zorvans, meanwhile, were growing desperate. "Why do they not attack with full force?" the Admiral demanded. "They are slow, but they destroy our patrols. Strike harder." But every time the Zorvans overcommitted, the humans adapted. Small teams lured enemy ships into traps where human carriers could disable them with electromagnetic pulses. Heavier human assault ships destroyed the crippled vessels with precise strikes. The Zorvans began to realize that human strategy was different from anything they had faced. Alien leaders tried to understand. Ambassador Kellen turned to his council. "They are not reckless. They do not fight for glory or honor. Every move is calculated. They strike when the moment is perfect, not when it seems convenient. They are something else." The humans began to share intelligence with the aliens, but only enough to maintain trust. They did not explain their full plans. The aliens could only watch and wait, unsure of the outcome. One evening, in the dark command room of a human carrier, Ethan Cole spoke to his officers. "They think we are weak because we wait. Patience is our weapon. When we move fully, the enemy will not survive. They will remember the name of humanity for a long time." "How long do we wait?" asked Diana Hayes. Until we know exactly how to strike, Ethan replied. Then the galaxy will see why humans are feared. The aliens began to whisper among themselves. Some tried to leave the human fleet, fearful of what was coming. Others stayed, hoping for salvation. The humans had become both a promise and a threat. As the days passed, Ryan Cole led a small team into the heart of the Zorvan patrol lines. They disabled several enemy communications satellites, cutting off coordination. Enemy fleets scrambled, attacking each other by mistake. Human forces did not engage directly. They merely guided the chaos. The aliens watched in awe. "We asked for help," said a Yalari elder, "but I do not know if we understand what we have called." The Drenari elder nodded. "Humans are dangerous, but they are our only hope. If they act fully, the Zorvans will fall, but at what cost to us?" In the enemy camp, the Zorvans began to fear the humans. They had expected a small, reckless species, easy to defeat. Instead, the humans observed, adapted, and struck with deadly precision. The admiral began to realize that patience was a human strength, not a weakness. "We underestimated them," he said quietly. "They are not just fighters, they are hunters, predators. We cannot defeat them if we continue like this." But it was too late. Humans were already planning their full engagement. Captain Ethan Cole reviewed the final maps of the enemy fleets. "We know their positions, their weaknesses, and their patterns," he said. "We strike soon. The galaxy will remember this moment." Jack Hill looked at the stars through the viewing window. "Humans answer the call for help, but we do not fight for fame or orders. We fight for survival and victory. The Zorvans will learn this the hard way." The part closes as the human fleets continue to observe and prepare, small strikes keeping the enemy off balance. The aliens watch, nervous and hopeful. The Zorvans are confused, underestimating their opponents. The stage is set for a confrontation that will shake the galaxy and reveal the terrifying power of human Deathworlders. Part 3. The switch is flipped. The galaxy was quiet for a moment, but tension hung thick in the air. The Zorvans were uneasy. They had watched human ships for days, but nothing seemed to happen. Small strikes had caused damage, but humans did not commit fully. The aliens were nervous. They wondered if humans would fight at all, or if they would leave them to their fate. Inside the human command ship, Ethan Cole stood over the tactical display. Hundreds of enemy positions lit up the screen. Each patrol route, supply line, and command station had been mapped and studied. Strategist Amy Scott pointed to the weakest points. "These gaps in their formation will give us access to the core fleets. If we act now, the entire enemy structure can collapse in minutes." Captain Cole nodded. "We wait no longer. Alert all units. This is the moment we strike fully. Small strikes were only a test. Now total engagement begins." On the Zorvan side, scouts reported unusual activity. Small human fighter groups began moving in patterns they had not seen before. "They are preparing for something," the admiral said. "Attack now before they strike." It was too late. Humans had already chosen the time. Jack Hill's voice came over the command channels. "All units engage, strike with precision. Nothing survives that threatens the innocent." Human fighters moved first. They struck supply convoys, taking out engines and weapon systems. Enemy communication satellites were destroyed or scrambled. Heavier human ships fired carefully aimed energy bursts, taking out key enemy vessels without warning. The Zorvans were unprepared. Their patrols were disorganized, their fleets confused. Alien observers gasped. Ambassador Kellen turned to his council. They are doing it. The humans are striking fully. This is not a normal battle. The destruction is total." On the ground of one alien world, Drenari soldiers watched small human landing teams approach. These humans were different from any soldiers they had ever seen. They moved with purpose, adapted instantly to enemy defenses, and used the terrain in ways that no alien could have imagined. Every attack was precise, every movement deliberate. "They are "Unstoppable," said one young Drenari fighter. "How can they move so fast and yet never make mistakes?" Human teams did not linger. They struck, destroyed, and vanished before the enemy could react. Enemy soldiers and pilots were caught in chaos. The Zorvans tried to regroup, but human attacks were coordinated perfectly. They cut off retreats, destroyed reinforcements, and neutralized command centers. On one human assault ship, Ryan Cole and Diana Hayes flew together. They moved into the center of a Zorvan fleet, targeting command ships. "We need to take this fleet down now," Ryan said. Diana nodded. "We have the advantage. We strike and their formation will collapse completely." They fired their weapons, and one by one, enemy command ships exploded. Panic spread through the Zorvan forces. Some tried to retreat, but human units had already blocked the exits. Escape was impossible. Alien leaders were silent, shocked. The Yalari ambassador whispered, "We thought humans would help, but this is total destruction. They are erasing the enemy completely." Back on the human command ship, Ethan Cole monitored the progress. "Every fleet that can fight is neutralized. Now ground units move in. The enemy will not recover." Human landing teams moved with deadly efficiency. Enemy installations were destroyed in hours. Supply lines were cut. Even the enemy soldiers who tried to surrender were neutralized carefully to prevent further threats. Humans did not linger. Every move was calculated to end the war quickly and decisively. The aliens began to understand. Some felt fear. Some felt relief. The humans were saving them, yes, but the scale of the destruction was terrifying. Ambassador Kellen spoke quietly. "We asked for help, but I fear we may have unleashed something we cannot control." On a distant planet, a Zorvan fortress fell in less than an hour. Human teams had breached defenses, destroyed weapons, and taken control of command posts. The Zorvans had no time to fight back. Their strategy collapsed under human precision and planning. Jack Hill spoke calmly to Ethan Cole over the comms. "The battle is going as planned. Keep pressure on all fronts. We end this swiftly. The galaxy must remember why humans survive where others fail." Amy Scott analyzed the remaining enemy positions. "Their command is fractured. Their fleet movements are predictable under pressure. If we continue, the Empire will collapse entirely." The aliens could not hide their awe. Young pilot Lyra whispered, "They are unstoppable. Humans fight like nothing I have ever seen. This is beyond anything in the galaxy." The Zorvans tried to mount a counterattack. A large fleet attempted to flank human carriers, but the humans had anticipated this. Small units created diversions, drawing the enemy in, while the main forces struck from unexpected directions. The flanking fleet was destroyed before it could engage properly. On another front, ground forces faced similar destruction. Human soldiers adapted instantly to enemy terrain and weapons. Traps were avoided, enemy positions neutralized, and communication lines destroyed. Every move was precise, every step planned. The Zorvans had never faced such coordinated attacks before. Ethan Cole addressed his officers calmly. "The enemy believes in numbers. We believe in skill, strategy, and adaptation. Keep the pressure. Leave nothing behind." The Deathworlders never hesitate when the innocent are at risk. On a nearby alien planet, the Council watched the battle unfold on viewing screens. Some began to weep quietly. The humans were saving their worlds, yes, but the scale of destruction was total. "They fight to survive and to protect, but there is no mercy for those who threaten life," whispered one elder. Jack Hill looked out at the stars, thoughtful. "We answer the call for help, but we do not fight for glory. We fight to end threats completely, to protect life." The Zorvans underestimated us. Now they learn the cost. As the day ended, the first major phase of the battle was complete. The Zorvan fleets were shattered, key command points destroyed, and their forces scattered. Humans had not overextended themselves, yet the destruction was total. Alien allies began to understand why humans were called Deathworlders. "They are not just strong," said Lyra softly. "They are a force of nature, nothing like us, nothing like any enemy we have known." The Zorvans fled to secondary positions, but humans had already mapped these locations. There would be no safe places. The next phase of the attack would finish what had begun. The aliens realized that the humans would not stop until the threat was completely removed. Inside the human command ship, Ethan Cole and Jack Hill planned the next moves. "They believe we fight only when forced," Ethan said. "They are wrong. We fight because we must. The galaxy has called and we answer fully. Every enemy that threatens life will fall." The part closes with the galaxy shaken by the scale of human power. The aliens are both grateful and fearful. The Zorvans realize they underestimated humans at a terrible cost. Small strikes have grown into full-scale destruction. The stage is set for total victory, but also for fear and awe as the aliens witness the true nature of human Deathworlders. Part 4. Cries turn into regret. The Zorvans were in chaos. Their fleets were shattered, their worlds in flames, and their command broken. Survivors fled to distant systems, but humans were already tracking them. Small patrols, fast and precise, cut off escape routes and destroyed the enemy's last strongholds. The Zorvans had never faced an enemy like humans. They were not just soldiers, they were predators who adapted instantly, struck with precision, and left nothing behind. On one of the surviving Zorvan ships, Admiral Cran barked orders to regroup. "We are still strong. Gather what remains. Attack them where they are weakest." But it was too late. Human scouts had already anticipated the moves. Ryan Cole and Diana Hayes led small squads that struck the regrouping fleet before it could organize. Engines were destroyed, weapons silenced, and communication jammed. Within hours, the surviving forces were scattered. The Zorvans began to understand that humans did not just fight, they ended conflicts completely. Alien allies watched, hearts heavy. Ambassador Kellen spoke quietly to the council. "We asked for help, but we never imagined total destruction. The humans are saving us, yes, but I fear their power. The Zorvans may be gone, but what comes next?" The Drenari elder nodded. "This is the nature of Deathworlders. They do not half-fight. When humans move, everything in the way of survival is destroyed. We are witnessing a force no one should face lightly." On the human command ship, Ethan Cole reviewed the situation. "The enemy is scattered but not finished. We strike now, or they will try to regroup again. No mercy, no hesitation. Every world that threatens life will fall." Jack Hill agreed. "We answer the call for help, but we do not fight for glory. We fight to remove the threat completely. Any mercy now would allow the Zorvans to rise again." Human ground teams landed on Zorvan planets, moving faster than the enemy could respond. Enemy soldiers tried to set traps and ambushes, but humans adapted instantly. One squad led by Ryan Cole avoided minefields, used the terrain to block enemy fire, and captured key installations. They did not linger. Destruction followed them in a controlled, precise wave. Alien civilians watched in awe and fear. Some whispered among themselves, "They are saving our worlds, yes, but at what cost? Nothing survives that threatens life. The humans fight like storms, calm before, then total destruction." Ambassador Kellen spoke to the council. "We asked for help. Now we must trust humans completely. They are stronger than any fleet, any weapon, any empire. They are Deathworlders, and nothing stands against them once they choose to act." The Zorvans tried to negotiate. Messages were sent begging for ceasefire. "We surrender," one transmission read. "Please, we yield. Spare our people." Humans did not respond immediately. They continued their operations, striking at remaining fleets and command centers. Strategist Amy Scott analyzed every surrender message and found patterns of deceit. She reported, "The Zorvans will use any delay to regroup. We cannot accept partial victories. Full destruction is necessary." Ethan Cole issued final orders. We give them a chance to surrender fully. Any attempt to regroup will be met with complete eradication. We answer the call to protect life, not to bargain with killers. One Zorvan planet sent envoys to plead in person. Alien allies watched as the humans met them without emotion. Jack Hill spoke clearly. Your forces threatened countless lives. We destroyed only what was necessary to end your threat. Survival is all that matters. Do not test humanity again. The envoys trembled. They had expected mercy, but the humans were not cruel, they were precise. They removed threats completely, but those who survived did so because humanity allowed it. The message was clear. Humans did not fight for power, but for survival and justice. Alien leaders began to understand the cost of human help. They were saved, yes, but the galaxy had changed. Ambassador Kellen whispered, "We cannot underestimate humans again." They answered our call, but the galaxy will never be the same. On remaining Zorvan worlds, small pockets of resistance tried to hide, thinking humans might spare them. Ryan Cole and his squad moved silently through asteroid fields and debris, striking only where necessary, and leaving no enemy stronghold intact. Enemy forces learned quickly that fleeing was useless. Humans anticipated every move, adapted to every trap, and destroyed every threat. Back on the human command ship, Ethan Cole addressed his officers. This is why humans are feared, not because we enjoy destruction, but because we survive where others fail. The Zorvans believed they could escape. They could not. The galaxy will remember this lesson. Jack Hill added, "We saved alien worlds, yes, but we remind the galaxy that humans are not to be underestimated. Anyone who threatens life will face total consequences." The Alien Council met again, this time in silence. They could not deny the truth. The humans had eradicated the enemy completely. The aliens had asked for help, but they now realized that the humans operated on a scale beyond comprehension. Young pilot Lyra whispered to a fellow officer, "They are not like us. They fight differently. Every move has purpose. Every attack is deadly. They do not pause. They do not hesitate. The Zorvans never had a chance." The Drenari elder looked out at the stars. "We survived, yes. But we owe our lives to a species we do not fully understand. Humans are Deathworlders. We must respect that power always." As the final enemy fleets were destroyed, humans continued to secure remaining worlds. Settlements were protected, infrastructure rebuilt where possible, and alien allies guided safely under human supervision. Yet the scale of destruction left scars on the galaxy. The Zorvans would not rise again. Any survivors would never forget what had happened. Ethan Cole and Jack Hill reviewed reports. "We acted decisively," Ethan said. "The Zorvans will not threaten life again. We saved the innocent and eliminated the threat completely." Jack Hill nodded. "Humans answer the call for help. We protect life, but we do so on our terms. The galaxy will remember the power of Deathworlders." The part ends with alien allies safe but shaken, the Zorvans gone, and humans preparing to return home. Alien leaders understood that while help had been given, the humans were not to be controlled, negotiated with, or underestimated. The galaxy had changed. Humans had shown their true nature, and any cries for help in the future would come with the knowledge of total consequences. Part 5. The aftermath of salvation. The galaxy was quiet again, but it was a heavy quiet. The Zorvans were gone. Their fleets destroyed, their commands shattered, and their worlds either neutralized or abandoned. The alien alliance survived, but it was not the same. Their planets were scarred, their cities partially ruined, and their people shaken by what they had witnessed. The humans had saved them, yes, but the scale of their power left a lasting mark on every mind. On the bridge of the human command ship, Ethan Cole looked out at the stars. The fleets were returning from the front lines, battered but intact. Human soldiers moved through the galaxy with calm efficiency, securing planets and protecting alien survivors. Each world they visited felt the presence of Deathworlders, silent, precise, and unyielding. Jack Hill stood beside Ethan. "The galaxy will remember this," he said quietly. "We answered the call for help. The Zorvans are gone. The innocent are safe, but they will also remember the cost of underestimating humans." Alien leaders came aboard the human ships to speak with the commanders. Ambassador Kellen was the first. He bowed slightly, a gesture of respect. "We owe you our lives," he said. "We asked for help and you gave us more than we imagined, but we also saw destruction on a scale we did not think possible." Ethan nodded. "We did what was necessary. Your people are safe now. The galaxy is stronger because life was preserved. That is why humans fight. We do not fight for glory, we fight for survival and protection." Lyra, the young Yalari pilot, observed the humans closely. She had never seen beings like them. Every move was precise, every decision calculated. Even when they left devastation behind, it was controlled, purposeful, and final. "We survived," she whispered to her friend. "But we will never forget. Humans are not just fighters, they are forces of nature." On one of the recovered planets, humans helped alien engineers rebuild essential systems. They did not linger longer than necessary. While their presence was protective, they did not seek reward or recognition. Their task was complete, and they would leave once the galaxy was stable. Captain Ethan Cole walked among the alien survivors. Children stared in awe at the humans. Some adults felt fear, others respect. No one could deny the truth. Humans were different, and now the galaxy knew it. Amy Scott gathered intelligence reports from the campaigns. She shook her head in quiet amazement. Every battle, every move was perfect. The Zorvans never had a chance. Humans adapt instantly. They are always 3 steps ahead. They are Deathworlders, and no one should forget that. Jack Hill added, "We do not fight for cruelty. We fight because life matters. The galaxy will see destruction where necessary, but only to protect life. That is the difference humans bring." On a distant planet, alien children were taught about the events. Stories would be told for generations. The Zorvans, the war, and the humans who saved the galaxy. But the stories were not just about victory. They were about respect and fear. Humans were allies, but not easily controlled or understood. Some alien leaders tried to ask humans to stay longer, to offer protection indefinitely. Ethan Cole and Jack Hill listened but refused. "We answered the call," Ethan said. "Our task is done. We do not stay to rule, we leave to ensure survival. Your people are capable. You have been given a chance. Do not forget what you saw." Before leaving, human squads debriefed the aliens on threats that could appear in the future. They shared knowledge of remaining Zorvan remnants, weak systems, and vulnerable points, but they did not explain everything. They gave enough guidance to protect life, but not enough for anyone to control humans in the future. Lyra approached Ethan before he left. "Thank you," she said quietly. "You saved us, but we also learned fear and respect. Humans are beyond anything we imagined." Ethan smiled faintly. "We only do what is necessary. We answer the call for help and we protect life. That is our way." Respect and fear are side effects, not intentions. As human fleets departed, the alien worlds began to recover. Planets healed, cities rebuilt, and survivors began to live again. Yet everywhere humans had been, the memory of their power remained. Alien leaders knew that if humans returned in anger, no empire could survive. They also knew that humans would return if the galaxy needed protection. On the command ship, Jack Hill addressed his officers one last time. "We answered the call for help. We destroyed threats. We protected life. The galaxy has changed. Let it be remembered, humans survive where others fall. Humans fight where others fail. Humans endure where others perish." Ethan Cole added, "We do not seek glory or control. We only act when necessary. Anyone who underestimates humans will learn, as the Zorvans did. The galaxy will remember Deathworlders, and so will its enemies." Alien leaders watched the human fleets leave, a mixture of relief, awe, and fear in their eyes. Ambassador Kellan spoke softly to the council. "We have been saved, yes, but we have seen the true nature of humans. They are protectors but also unstoppable. We must respect that and never underestimate them again." Back on Earth, the human fleet returned to orbit. Crew members were quiet but satisfied. They had answered the call for help, saved the galaxy from a tyrant, and reminded the universe why humans were called Deathworlders. Jack Hill looked at the stars. "The call for help is over. The galaxy is safer, but it is wiser now. Humans are not to be tested lightly. The lesson is clear. Survival, strategy, and strength are ours. We protect life and we destroy threats completely when needed." Ethan Cole added, "We leave behind safety and lessons. The galaxy knows us now. Any who threaten life will face the consequences. Humans are not just fighters. We are survival incarnate. The universe will never forget it." The story ends with human fleets moving back to their homeworlds. Alien civilizations begin to rebuild, changed forever by the presence of Deathworlders. The galaxy is safer but wiser. Humans have shown their true power: calm before the storm, patience before total action, and precision before complete destruction. The cries for help were answered, and the result was total salvation and total respect. The galaxy would remember that when humans come, they do so not for conquest, but to protect life, and they do so with unstoppable force.